Today we're going to be making face masks. So here's one I've already done. All you need are 2 pieces of fabric. I cut this 8 inches long and then 7 inches wide. You want 2 different patterns. The reason you want 2 different patterns is effectively you want a front and a back, and whichever one you pick as your back is going to be your germ side. So you just want, see how this is somewhat lighter here? So you want this part to be facing toward each other. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew along the edge in a straight stitch. And if it helps, just get a couple pins you want it to stay in place. And then we're just going to sew in a straight stitch. Okay. So once you've done that, all you need to do is go ahead and tie off the ends. This is actually a really easy project if you're a beginner with a sewing machine. And if you're wanting to make some for healthcare workers and you're wanting to make like a bunch, this is a really good place to start, because I actually am self-taught, which basically means I kept on making a lot of mistakes until I got better at it. And personally, I just find if you're learning, do the same thing over and over and over, because repetition is honestly the best thing in terms of getting comfortable with a sewing machine. So this would make a really good beginner project. I've been making a bunch for healthcare workers. The Quilt Museum, the Quilt Guild, and the Quilt Museum has been partnering with Tanner to make some for healthcare workers and all that. So they've been really awesome, and just getting a bunch to them, it's been great. So I've been doing that while I've been sheltering in place. Okay. And don't worry too much if you have a bit of excess. Sometimes I'll have a bit of excess, you know. I've been sewing for 10 years and sometimes even I make mistakes. So don't worry too much about it. Just cut it off. And then we'll turn it inside out. Or right side out. Sorry, not inside out. It was inside out. It is now right side out. And so what we're going to do now is, you see how we have this tube? We are going to take the ends, it's easier if you do it at the corner, and just fold them inward. So we'll take our pin. Let's get a longer pin. Put that there. And do the same. And then get our pin. Put that in place. And then next we'll get our elastic. I cut this about 9 inches, 10 inches long. You can go longer if you want. Some folks suggest going up to 11 inches just so it can fit across anyone, and instead of over the ear, it would go over the back of the head, so it's a lot more comfortable. You know, you can customize it to your personal fit as well if you want. You may just want to measure ahead of time, but this is just sort of what the length I've been using as sort of a one size fits all, because you can always tie off at the end or adjust it as you need to so it's comfortable. You want to make sure it's not tangled, so just kind of make sure it follows a straight line. We'll just get okay. So then we're just going to sew in a straight stitch along the edges. Sorry if it gets a little blurry here and there. I'm moving my camera stand so you can see what I'm doing. And just go slow and take your time if you need to. Like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been sewing for 10 years, and so I might go a little quicker. Now, a lot of people ask me if I'm teaching them to sew, well, what about if you poke yourself or sew through yourself? And I'm going to tell you something that you probably is not encouragement, but honestly, at some point it will happen. I have poked myself. I have sewn through like the little tip of my finger and probably like taken a tiny tip off, and I'll normally just wrap it with a bit of scrap fabric and keep on moving. It just happens. Once you kind of just accept it's going to happen, it sort of becomes less scary. I've developed some really good calluses, honestly. Okay. So, now that that's done, we are going to do our pleats. But I'm going to tie this off first real quick. Okay. So for our pleat, all you have to do, okay, some thread here and there. All you have to do is just pinch the fabric between your fingers. So I have one finger here, and I'm just kind of doing this, and then you fold over. And it's easier for me to do it if I do it on this side, so I want you guys to see it. So hopefully you see it, or it looks okay. Okay, and you want your pleats to face the same way. So we're gonna do it again. So like I said, you just take this finger right here, here's our little finger, and I'm gonna pinch and fold over. Okay. Put some pins in place. And then we'll do our last one. Pinch and fold. If you need to make adjustments, if you want, and I might actually go ahead and do that here, and you'll see it a second time, because I want that last pleat to have a little more. You can go ahead and do so. Just take your time. Because I want a little bit more on that last pleat. Sometimes just need to reassess and do it again. We're not past the point of no return, so you can when you're in this stage, you can easily make adjustments for anything you're doing. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so we have our pleats pinned in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew each end. We're just going to continue again, straight line, straight stitch. That's all you need when you're learning to sew. And if you want a recommendation for a sewing machine to use, if you're a beginner, I would actually recommend a Basic Brother brand sewing machine. I'm using a Janome. Let me pan my camera so you can see it a little bit. I have inspiration. So there's my Janome. I'm not going to show you my messy craft area. But yes, Brother sewing machines are honestly the best ones to learn on. They're pretty basic. They don't have a lot of bells and whistles. You don't need a lot of bells and whistles. So that's what I would recommend. And with any sewing machine, just bear in mind that every sewing machine needs maintenance just like any machine. Okay, so I actually went over that twice. It's just to make sure the pleats are held in place and my seam is good, my stitches are good. I like to make sure things are not going anywhere when I put them in place. Okay. See, just going over it one more time. A little bit of excess thread here. Go over it one more. We're almost done. Okay. Just tie these off. And that's it. So what I will do to finish it up is I'll take an iron and iron it, and that'll really hold your pleats in place. But that's pretty much it. I hope all of you have a good day. Stay safe and take care. Bye.